Now let's get a check of weather. People are going to be heading out of the door. They probably want to grab a jacket this morning.
Oh yeah.
Definitely in layers though, because that jacket you grabbed this morning, you're not going to need by the afternoon. It's going to be similar to yesterday. A cold start, but that's going to give way to 60s later this afternoon. Looking live over downtown, no secret about it. It is cold outside. 30 degrees. We've been as cold as 28 in Macon right now and not picking up on any wind. 62 is going to be that high temperature coming later on today with sunny skies across central Georgia. 34 waking up in Warner Robins, 37 in Cochran, 36 in Dublin, 30 down in Dodge County this morning, 32 in Milledgeville, 31 in Eatonton, and 33 over in Forsyth. A dry radar picture in and around central Georgia, and really for that matter, it's dry across the southeast. No big weather system in the neighborhood to bring us anything in the next 2 to 3 days. 64 is what we did yesterday. That was 2 degrees above the average high and 8 degrees below the average low. 38 started off at 30 yesterday morning. We've already been as cold as 28 this morning. Here we go to the noon hour. Temperatures close to 50. Notice we don't have clouds. We don't have rain, just a light breeze out of the northeast. And that's going to be as temperatures find their way, I think, into the low 60s. We know how it goes on Future View this time of year. We got to add a couple degrees onto the temperatures to get our actual high temperature. And then once we get into the evening tonight, entering another free fall back down into the 30s. But clouds are going to be on the increase across central Georgia, and then even more so as we get into tomorrow afternoon. Back into the 60s once again. And then once we get into Friday morning, this is where things begin to change, and the temperature department not cooling off all that much from the afternoon into Friday morning, Thursday afternoon into Friday morning. Instead, this cloud cover is going to be around, the wind shifting now coming out of the south. All of those factors combined, you get temperatures not cooling off as much through the overnight hours. And then once we get into the afternoon, we will still be able to warm up. So into the 70s for Friday afternoon. Any shower activity in the state, I'm thinking, is going to be closer to Interstate 20. And then once we get into the night for Friday night to Saturday morning, we'll see something similar in terms of the temperatures. Let's check out the longer range models. This is the GFS here. You see some rain on the leading edge of it moving into central Georgia by the time we get late in the day on Saturday. A lot of that sticks around here for Sunday and on into Monday. We look at the GFS's counterpart, the European model. This is bringing somewhat of a similar scenario to central Georgia, and the fact of some showers for Saturday afternoon becoming more widespread by the time we get into Sunday here. And then for Monday, as a low pressure center tracks just to our north, we're going to keep the rain continuing before we dry out on Tuesday. This scenario, the European model, brings us about 2 to 3 inches of rain. The GFS, which we saw just before this, brings us about 1 to 2 inches of rain. So as for the weekend, Saturday we'll have some dry hours, a 40% chance of rain. Those dry hours going to be on the front half of the day, but Sunday is where things get interesting, with 70 being the high temperature, but that also comes with a 70% chance of rain. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. 65 for tomorrow, 71 on Friday. Clouds on the increase as temperatures are on the increase as well. Rain builds in for the weekend, sticking around for the first part of the next work and school week as well. Mardi Gras, that is going to be next Tuesday. That's going to mark the start of a drying trend for us. 62 the high temperature with partly cloudy skies.